Hi there coaches. Okay, so I added this bonus video in because I think it's really important that you understand the psychology of how a team is constructed, how they're put together, and the process that that team goes through to become successful or productive, whatever way you want to look at it. And this is a concept that was developed back in the 1960s, and it is pretty logical when you think about it. And until about a month ago, I hadn't really thought about it in this term or in this way. It was a case of, okay, here's 15 boys, 15 girls, let's throw them together, do the best we can with them throughout the season and see what happens. And it's not until you start going a little bit deeper than that that you start thinking about, okay, well, what is the mechanics of putting that team together? What is it with the different personalities? How do they mesh together to become a cohesive unit? How do you deal with conflict? What do you do to get them all pulling in the same direction? And if you want to expand that a bit, you would then include the parents. And how do you get 50 odd people all on the same page, all committed and dedicated to the same thing, all driving in the same direction? And if you've been a coach for any length of time, you know that that is the biggest challenge. How do you get everyone with all their individual needs, with their egos, with their knowledge of soccer, lack of knowledge of soccer, with their interpersonal relationships within the group may have already been formed before you got there? And how do you get all of these people to buy into what you want to do, to how you want to create the chemistry within this group? And so it wasn't, as I say, until about a month ago that I was actually introduced to this methodology, and it instantly came to me that, oh wow, so that's the actual 4 stages that we have to go through to put this team to the point where they can be successful. Now, if you've only got a period of, let's say, 30 weeks to go from putting this team together to being able to get them to be cohesive, deal with all the problems, then to be able to settle down and work together, to then at the end be able to perform. That's quite a challenge. It's quite a tall order for you as the leader, the coach, to be able to deal with all the intricacies that are in there and come out on top and come out with a winning formula to put together that team, to figure out how that team meshes together. So I wanted to drop this in because it's really important in terms of you being able to understand how to build the relationships, how to be able to move yourself forward and the team forward. So here are the 4 stages. So the first one is when you form the team. So we call that forming. Each season you'll go through a forming process. You go through a tryout process, maybe some players will leave, some new players will come on board, and you'll then have to form the team again, brand new, to be able to get that cohesive unit. So the first part is forming. The second part is storming. And in the storming you're dealing with the conflict resolution, you're dealing with the individual personalities, you're getting the team to come together so that they can be a cohesive unit and they can work together and they can be more productive together than they are separate. The third stage is norming, and what that means is that you've settled down, you're into your pathway, you're into your patterns, you're into your processes, you're going through the normal development of a team, skill wise, tactics wise, formation wise, and all of the other stuff has already been dealt with. And the final stage is performing. So once you get norming and you are driving up the skill, you're driving up the ability, then you get performing. And it's only once you get to performing that you've actually gone through all 4 stages, and now you're on the upward curve with this team. The last stage is a stage called adjourning, which is when the team breaks up. So we don't really include that in the 4 stages because that's almost like the after stage. But every team breaks up eventually, and that's the 5th stage, if you like. Alright, so enjoy this bonus session, this bonus chapter, and see how, as you're going through it, you can think about how this relates to your team or your environment, so that you can start then putting those pieces together. This whole process was written for the business world, so there's some language in this as you read through that relates to companies and business, but I think it works absolutely perfectly for a soccer team as well. So bear that in mind as you're reading through, but really start taking in these concepts as how you break down forming, storming, norming, and then performance. Alright, thanks a lot, talk to you later, bye bye.